If you want to be an effective speaker in your everyday life, ask yourself if you're doing these things. Dun, 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 dun. So what is an effective speaker? So I'm just going to cheat and just look it up on Google right away. So this is the definition. Being able to say what you want in such a way that is heard and acted upon. So basically, being an effective speaker means that you are able to convey exactly what you want, the way you want it, and in a way that is being understood by other people. And that makes sense. And another step to that, if it's understood by other people and it motivates them to actually do something about it. So yeah, that's my definition of it. Adding to Google. But in this video, I just want to simplify the definition as being able to express your thoughts in a way that you intended to. And of course, being understood by the listener, because if the person doesn't understand you, what is the point? So in order to be an effective speaker, do you have these 4 things? Let's get into that. 1, expertise. So by expertise, I don't actually mean that you have to be an expert in that field, but you do have to be knowledgeable about this topic. You have to know what you're talking about. Let's say you feel it's challenging for you to talk about a certain topic in English, in your target language. Ask yourself first, okay, if I try to explain this exact topic in my native language, would I be able to do it or not? If you try to explain it in your own language first and then you actually make sense, then of course that means the problem is your language ability. But if you try to explain it in your native language and you still don't understand it, other people still don't understand it, then maybe the problem with that is your lack of knowledge. You don't truly understand this given topic that you're trying to explain. And when you don't understand something, explaining it to others will just make it that much more confusing to you and to the other party. So the easy solution to this is, of course, get more knowledgeable about this given topic. And how do you do that? By feeding your brain a lot of input about this topic, both in your native language and also in your target language. Let's just give a concrete example, okay? Let's say you are a project manager in a company and then you want to become more skilled as a project manager, but then you feel like the way you communicate is not very effective. Like your team just cannot seem to understand what you're trying to do and they're never really sure about the instructions that are being given to them. Then you're asking yourself, is it me? It's like, am I not communicating well enough? Then what you want to do is make sure you get a lot of input about this certain topic. Because by getting a lot of input, whether it be articles or books or videos, you're bound to find phrases, different terminology. You're going to expand your vocabulary in this field. That is directly applicable to your situation that you can use right away. And in general, guys, like I'm not just talking about how to get better in a certain language. In general, in life, in order for you to have a larger vocabulary, whether it be in your native language or in your target language, you're just gonna have to read and watch a lot of things. If you notice it, a lot of leaders, a lot of people who teach, who have a lot to say to a group of people, a lot of times they always educate themselves with new content, with books, with videos, with documentaries, with seminars here and there. So that's why they become more fluent when they talk about relevant things. When they talk about their field, they become a master in their field, and they do that by putting input in their brain. So next time you're thinking, how come I'm always having troubles whenever I talk about so and so? Ask yourself, how much input am I giving myself really? Like, am I always watching things that are beneficial for me, or am I usually just watching entertainment to get entertained and not really learning anything? And also, giving your brain input as much as possible is basically a never-ending process. Even if you have reached fluency in your target language, you shouldn't stop learning. You shouldn't stop reading about many different things in this language, because that's how you can become more eloquent, because you can become more of an expert in a certain subject. So that was an extended explanation. So number 2, the thing that you need to have is flexibility. So basically, this is your ability to put yourself in the shoes of the listener, of the audience. Basically, knowing your audience and being able to adjust your way of speaking that is understandable to them. So are you speaking to a group of professionals? What kind of language, terminology, phrases, words should you use that will resonate with them more? Or maybe you're speaking to teenagers. How do you adjust your way of speaking that is more relatable to them? Or maybe you are speaking to a group of academics where you're gonna have to use a lot of these let's say, more difficult esoteric words to a group of professors. Or maybe you're talking to a group of people whose first language is not English and they're still learning English or something. So then you're going to have to adjust your way of speaking in a way that is understandable. So using simple things, using simple words, and being able to adjust your way of speaking depending on the people that you're speaking to is one characteristic and one step ahead to becoming an effective speaker. Number 3 is simplicity. So simplicity, being able to simplify what you're trying to explain. So basically what I just touched upon very briefly just now. So you want to remember this acronym, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You probably think in order for me to sound smart, to sound more effective, I have to use all of these difficult sentences or difficult words, difficult phrases that a lot of people might not even understand. But a lot of the times when you use these difficult words, the general audience would find it difficult to understand you. Sure, you may think, oh, I sound smart by using all of these words, but most of the time the reality is that you're alienating your audience. Or even worse, you're making the audience feel a little bit stupid by not understanding these words. So next time you have the urge to use all of these difficult words that you found from some video, think to yourself, if I use these words, will the audience understand me? And also, one tip to try to keep things simple is always to ask yourself, how would I explain this concept to a 5-year-old or to a toddler, not a toddler, but like to a child? Because if you're trying to explain a difficult concept in a way that a 5-year-old would understand, being able to take a complex idea and explain it in a way that is simple and easy to understand for a lot of people, that's an achievement. The last ingredient is observation. Basically, how often do you observe the people that you admire speak? So first, one thing to have is someone like a public speaker or a public figure that you admire. And then think to yourself, what is it that I like about them? Is this the way he carries himself on stage? Is it the way she uses her body language? Is it the way she structures her sentences when she speaks? What is it? And then you want to take the best practices. However, keep in mind that there is a difference between copying someone's entire style and drawing inspirations from it. Of course, it's good to find someone that you idolize. You want to be like them, you want to copy their style, but you don't want to copy their entire way of delivering things, because that's just being a copycat. But drawing inspiration from it is basically taking the best practices, so the best thing about them, and try to incorporate that on your own way. That's drawing inspiration from someone. And maybe you have another public figure that you like, and then let's say this second public figure you like for a different reason than the first one. What you want to do is then incorporate best practices from these two and then make it your own. And that's how you become more of a unique speaker that is completely your own style. So yeah, there you go. Those are some 4 ingredients and how you can become a more effective speaker in your daily life. I hope you guys like this video. If you like it, please give it a like for the algorithm and also comment. And as usual, I will see you next week in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.